Understanding States. December 1, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. A couple days ago I wrote an article about the concepts of land versus soil and domicile versus home and international versus national, and how the whole business of transition from colonies to states to states occurred in this country. I also touched on the definition of soil, the top 6 inches of dirt, versus the land, which is everything under that skin of soil on top. The way all this developed then is that the colonies became independent, landed estates owned by the people living within their borders. Perhaps the best way to envision this is a thin outline of your state's geographic shape, 6 inches thick, that you walk upon and plant crops in, what we think of as our native soil, and this soil comprises the national jurisdiction belonging to you and the rest of the people who have adopted your state as their permanent home. Your nationality derives from the soil. You are, strictly speaking, a Texan, an Ohioan, a New Yorker, and so on, at birth, and your state is your nation. Because there are 50 states of the Union, we typically say we are Americans when someone asks our nationality, but in terms of actual law, that is not correct. We are Wisconsinites, Californians, Montanans, and Louisianans, et alia. Obviously, in addition to soil, your state also has to have land attached to and underlying the soil. This underlying subsurface layer plays by its own rules and is the home of many resources that your state shares with other states. Aquifers, oil reservoirs, mineral deposits and so on, don't respect political boundaries drawn on maps, so it should become clear why the land is an international jurisdiction in much the same way that the sea is an international jurisdiction. For example, pollution of groundwater that occurs in one state may easily become a problem for one of more other bordering states that share the same underground resource. Such pollution becomes an interstate issue, which in this country means an international issue. Please note, because our soil jurisdiction states are nation states, the words interstate and international are synonymous in America. Over the years, these technical differences between the national soil jurisdiction and the international land jurisdiction have not been well understood and are mostly only appreciated by miners and other subsurface resource developers and specialists in law and legal matters who have to deal with the interface between land and soil. Most of us go our whole lives and when we say, Minnesota, we automatically think of it as being one contiguous entity and we parrot the phrase, land and soil, without knowing the difference. We just lump these two things together for most purposes, the same way we say we are Americans though in fact we are Virginians or Wisconsinites or. So, one name, Minnesota, stands for both the land in international jurisdiction and the soil in national jurisdiction, which is attached to and defined by the physical borders of Minnesota. This thing we call Minnesota is a physical place with borders, landmarks, land and soil, lakes and running rivers, and thanks to the Great Lakes and the St. Lawrence Seaway, access to the oceans of the world as well. All the other land and soil jurisdiction states of the Union have their own unique character, borders, landmarks, land and soil, etc., too. These states, which are physical and which are geographically defined by borders and landmarks, are not created by any constitution. Like the people populating these states, the states of the Union are part of nature, and to the extent that they exist as named entities, they exist because of state compacts, common law covenants, which are agreements established among living people at a given time and which are memorialized and passed on to future generations of Minnesotans, Texans, Californians. Neither the actual states nor their federation doing business as the United States of America owe their existence to any constitution. It's the states of states that are formed by constitutions. As a result, the states and their federation stand apart from and above and beyond any state of state or federal government subcontractor. When we are talking about states, actual, factual states, we are operating under treaties and compacts, not constitutions. So the Federation of States, the United States of America unincorporated, is in a different class and realm than any of the federal entities, above and apart from the ruined Confederation of American States of States doing business as the States of America, also above and beyond the British territorial government doing business as the United States of America, and also above and beyond the municipal United States government doing business as the United States. When you talk about the states and the United States of America, you are talking about sovereign unincorporated entities and a federation of sovereign entities created by compact and sovereign letters patent, which are obligated by treaties. Consider them apples. When you talk about states of any kind, including those chartered by the British territorial government and the municipal United States government, you are talking about corporations created by charters issued by sovereign entities, our states, the Queen, and the Holy See, respectively, defined by articles of incorporation and obligated by constitutions. Consider them oranges. And know this, the apples can do the work of the oranges. They simply delegated portions of their own work and responsibility to other entities to perform. I may give AB Lawn Services, Inc., a contract to mow my lawn, but if the corporation in receipt of the contract, described as a constitution, goes bankrupt, or fails to perform the assigned job in good faith and with reasonable competence, guess what? I still know how to pour gas into my lawn mower, I can still replace the air filter, and I can still mow my own grass. Thank you, very much. I am not rendered incompetent because of whatever ills befall my subcontractors, and neither is the United States of America rendered bankrupt nor incompetent because of things that happen to or because of its federal subcontractors malfunctioning. So, repeat after me, states are apples. States of states are oranges. States are formed by compact and sovereign letters patent, and are obligated by treaties. Apples. Help support this work by visiting www.annavonreitz.com and look for the donate button. Links to this article and more can be found in the video description box.